What exactly happened to Ketan Agarwal and what is the truth? Hello everyone and welcome once again. So today we are going to discuss about this brutal murder case. Let's go. So if we look, then we will now look at the full story. So Sia Goyal is basically a 20 years old girl who is 12th fail, and she was a stay-at-home daughter who enjoys a lavish lifestyle. We can see through her social media there are two public handles and one of them is a private handle.
The Goyals are owners of a famous dry fruits and spices shop, whereas Ketan Agarwal is the CEO of a newly established company, and both are extremely.
So, an arranged marriage was done with the help of relatives and all. As you know, in the Marwadi community, there are a lot of acquaintances, connections. So, through that only, the introduction of Sia Goyal was done to them, and he was engaged to her through an arranged marriage. We can see a lot of posts and videos. Invest. So, basically, on 8 June 2026, so Sia's birthday was there on 18th June, and he had planned various surprises for her to have a dinner in a famous restaurant and to firstly visit Lohagarh Fort in Pune.
Yeah. Flits. Yes, your flits.
And on 18 June 2026, he took her and he fell roughly 300 feet from Lohagarh Fort and died. And this did not happen at the first time. Somewhere else also, there only he firstly was about to die, but thankfully, with the help of a tree branch, he was saved. And investigation started happening on the third day. So during his funeral, his sister started having suspicions around Sia because she was extremely nonchalant, she was not showing any signs of obvious tension, and then she started having doubts. And then she asked that what's the matter, and she was extremely unclear in what she was saying, and through that doubt started erupting, and since then investigation started to happen.
So, this is an extremely complex and sensitive matter.
And so Sia was not caught red handed, but because of finding inconsistencies in what initially appeared to be an accidental death. So they, started investigating, and how they got suspected because firstly her initial account. So Sia told police that Ketan accidentally slipped while taking photographs at Lohagarh Fort. As investigators examined the scene and other evidence, they began to doubt that version. And suspicious CCTV footage. Police identified a person wearing a hoodie in hot, around 33 to 37 degrees Celsius weather, which is extremely strange in Pune, which they considered unusual. I wish this person was Chetan Chaudhary, and this footage became an important lead. Digital evidence. Investigate, examine call records, location data, WhatsApp messages, and data recovered from mobile phones, which they say suggested communication between Sia and Chetan before and after the incident. And Ketan's families questioned their sisters and interrogation of Chetan. So police first detained and questioned him. So based on information gathered, they arrested both him and Sia. And police carried out crime scene and examined other footage. So fully it's not been, found out, but still it's being developed. And Sia and Chetan had an affair. We can see photos of her brother with him too. And her family told that, if she's found guilty, hang her to death and put her in jail, give her the worst punishment. But we are also seeing inconsistencies in her family's, verdicts also. And Ketan's parents are telling that not only her, but her family should be also thrown because they are also behaving suspiciously and inconsistently.
आज मैं भी माँ हूँ, सिया की भी माँ है, लेकिन मुझे सिया के लिए आज फांसी ही चाहिए और मेरे चेतन के लिए जस्ट
He had hair loss, so he was wearing hair patch, and that's okay. Hair loss is an increasing problem due to many factors, and women also dress up fake with fake nails and all.
You know, all between the first and the murderous incidents also happened. So another reportedly did not happen because Ketal's family prevented him from going. A later attempt allegedly failed because too many people were present. And we are seeing so many things, and Sia, coming out of jail, she's doing this kind of a sign and like a goo, and there is so much complexity here. We are also finding that recently she and Chetan were married previously, and in order to get money, probably she got engaged to that innocent Ketan. Also, if we look at Ketan's background, he was extremely innocent, and he was not like that kind of guy who will find suspicious. So he was too much innocent for this world, and I definitely feel sad. And also, Chetan had another girlfriend named Rohini, and now it's being found out that she told him to manipulate Sia into killing him. Like, this is an extremely complex matter, much complex than the Indian serials also. That so many feminists, both male and female, woke ones, are defending Sia.
जो लौंडा था उसके बाल ही नहीं थे, तो अब ऐसे झूठ बोलोगे तो मरोगे ही ना. सो हैशटैग आई हेट मैन.
न्यूज सुनकर भाई बड़ी खुशी होती है. मैं तो लड़कियां तुम्हारे साथ हो, इतनी गट्स मुझ में होती तो मैं अभी तक 5-6 चुकी होती, बट नहीं है, तुम में है, तुम बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हो. ऐसे और मरे और डर पैदा हो इन लड़कों में. हाँ ठीक.
केतन अग्रवाल के केस में काफी
Just because she's a woman, and we can see it throughout the law that, firstly, we will now talk about my thoughts on it. So we see that um, just because someone is a woman, her crimes get excuses. We saw in the Sonam Raghuvanshi case, that Meghalaya honeymoon case, where the wife, was nowhere to be seen, but it was turned out that she had an affair and no jail for her. She's, moving freely around the towns. And we can see so many people defending her, and most of them girls are not objectively beautiful also, they are chapris, and that is what it is. And Chetan Bhagat, and many other people are empathizing with her. Now, we can understand. I don't think we should understand like that. Now, if the situation would have been of extremely orthodox family, then we could have understood. But we can see that her family was extremely, extremely liberal.
Also, see, Chetan Chaudhary and all of these people were from the similar community.
Some people are blaming dating culture, feminism, and giving women excessive freedom. While there may be some truth in it, I don't believe curbing women's freedom or dating will be the solution. This trad thinking, I don't think, is the answer, but rather injustices against men should be looked up as normal crimes. This is the exact reason for Chetan's career. She took money and killed him.
Her family, basically, we saw now recent social media accounts, logs, that Sia was literally enjoying party like a very normal girl, like clubbing, drinking, and all. Now, I don't believe that is in and of itself wrong. I also believe that she did not fit into the traditional sanskari bahu claims, except the fact that she was a stay-at-home daughter. Her parents basically lied to his parents, basically Ketan's parents, that she does not party and she's sanskari. So their fault is there. Why do you need to lie? Because Ketan's family was a little conservative. That's why. Now, her father is been telling that we don't have any problem with marrying, love marriages, and all. Jains and Gujaratis are okay, but we want from a vegetarian community. We don't want low caste people, Muslims, Christians, non-vegetarians. Now, my thoughts on it is that it's everyone's choice to have a personal preference, but that should not be applied to the whole community. The preference of her family, especially her bua, who was bragging to his family that she was so good and all, needs to be blamed. The
We saw Sia's father once in a hospital, admitted, and him telling things. Sometimes we see him somewhere else, and they are extremely inconsistent. So I think they also have something to be blamed.
most. And let me tell you, this is the consequence of gentle. Gentle basically means that you are gentle to the child, but also you don't look at the consequences. You are not firm, you're not strict when there is a need to be so. And we can see the rise of gentle parenting even in Eastern societies, like not spanking, being always mild, not being firm, not setting rules. And we can see that how much children today are causing havoc in supermarkets and becoming more and more Sia boils, and a lot of such people are being increasing. Even small children, like an 8-year-old child, his mother chopped her body and he, you know, made biryani and all. Like shameless people exist. And the parents are to be blamed, not because they were close minded, but because they were too much open minded. And I'm not saying drinking and partying is wrong. I myself, enjoy it sometimes. However, the problem is not taking accountability, not understanding the child, and most importantly, not correcting the child when it needs to be corrected. My parents were very kind to me. They are very kind to me. But at times they have corrected me. Now, I'm not saying you should be abusive, but sometimes spanking or sometimes scolding will lead to better outcomes. At least, the person will not change a bit, the child won't change, but there will at least be some kind of impact. So, gender is the biggest problem which has happened. And I don't believe that should, be there. Now, I'm not saying parents should be but there should be a balance. Yes, you should be loving and kind towards your children. You should understand your child. But at the same time, you should have some rules, protocols, which they should follow. You should guide properly. And I believe such communities should be more open minded. And the reason I don't empathize with her is that she was kind of very liberal. And murder is it's never the answer. Murdering innocent, whether it's the unborn child, whether it's a woman, whether it's an aged parent, nobody should, die. Because murder is never justifiable. It's never just. So I believe punishment should be given to all three, including Rohini, because there are not strict punishments in India. We will see more Sia Goyals. And she got inspired by Sonam Raghuvanshi, the mirrored girl, and all such heinous women. So I believe ideally death penalty is the punishment. Because if you are not going to have such strict punishments, crimes are going to increase. Now this was reported case. So many cases are unreported. So yes, as a woman, I support Ketan Agarwal. I support the innocent people. And yes, no whitewashing, no more victim card playing. Fair justice must be given. So, thank you guys for listening to this episode.